Merhaban y bienvenidos de volta, friends. I'm getting better with this shit. If you're new around here, I'm Big Gator. If you came looking for the sharpest tennis bets, you're right where you belong. Right now, we are covering 3 new tournaments this week. We have made it to Doha in Qatar, Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, and still in America, we made it back to Del Rey Beach. So get yourself involved into the comments. Let me know what you're playing for the first round. Keep your eyes peeled for the pinned comment if you want to follow along with what I'm playing as well. If you do like the breakdown of these matches, please give this video a like. It goes a super long way. Thank you in advance, really. If you do want to get my picks as soon as I upload, or you're feeling extra generous, there's a link at the bottom of the Discord, at the pinned comment if you want to donate, as well as a link to my free Discord. Now, with that being said, what are you looking like for today? Talked to you guys a few hours ago, I know, right before the finals. Weird day of finals. All the favorites won except for our favorite. Cash the Ben Shelton. We also took a ticket for people that didn't play the future. I don't know why I did that. I'm not doing it again. So if you played that and you missed money on it, sorry. I did it because I thought you didn't play future and I thought this would happen. But it didn't. So they took the bottom half and top half of both of the indoor courts, right? We took Rotterdam, top half, Demon R1, so that was the top half. And then we had the bottom half, which was Ben Shelton in Dallas. So bang for that. We also took Ben Shelton as our future, so very happy with that. Let's pop into round 1. Now, I do want to preface with this. Round 1 is a shaky time. If you're new to betting on tennis, you need to understand that if you haven't seen people play yet at this specific tournament that you're betting on, don't be upset if you're betting on them and you haven't seen them and they don't do what you want them to do, because you don't know how well they're playing until you see them play. So I like to play things very lightly, and I suggest everyone do the same. There's a crap ton of matches. I have 22 to go through today, so I'll be kind of going through the ones that make the most sense to talk more about, and the ones that are just kind of obvious we'll kind of breeze through. All right, don't need to be here all day talking about the obvious stuff. So that being said, you should also go back to the last video, check out the last section. I talk about all the futures, all the people that have won in the past. So get the info that you need there, and then catch up with me today. And let's start with Doha. And our first match is going to be Mr. Zayid going against Popyrin. Now, I did a little research into this Mubarak Zayid character, and I don't know how the dude made it into the draw as a wild card. Unranked, 30 years old, 26% win rate. Don't need to talk about this any longer. Popyrin's going to destroy this guy. There's no value in it. He's minus 10,000 to win. You can't even take it on a spread. So don't want to waste any more time there. But if you're looking for some free DraftKings money, without a doubt, definitely take him, because he is not going to upset you here. This is the win that he needed. So, yeah. All right, next match that we're going to get into is going to be Battle of the Frenchmen. We have Valentin Royer going against Puerre-Hugues Herbert. And this is going to be their third head-to-head. Royer played him in qualies in Paris a few months ago and beat him in straights, but just a year before in October, he lost in straights to him in a challenger. So something we do know about a year's worth of time is that people can really improve, and Valentin Royer definitely improved. I'm assuming that he was around the same rank as Herbert at 171 around the time, but now he's 57 in the world. So he's been having a bad losing streak. So I wouldn't touch him. He really should win the match. I can look real quick and see what the price is for you, but like I said, I don't think you should be touching this one. Touch whatever match you want to, but I don't recommend this one. He's minus 256 for a reason, okay? That's a really good price for someone that hasn't been winning. But that's an upset can very much happen. We've had Herbert, who's been playing here in qualies, winning, beating Elias Ymer and Vukic. So very strong performances. If Royer's not coming with it and his serve isn't there for him, it's going to be a problem. So as far as how they perform on the hard courts, because this is back to playing outdoors, so heat is going to be a big thing as well. Something you got to know about Doha. It's got about a 1.07. It's kind of like the Australian Open. It's generally fast. So this is gonna be a place for big servers. Hopefully this comes in clutch form. Okay. The weather in Doha. Let's see. A high of 76. It should be like great. Very chilly, so not good conditions for like smoking hot serves because it's going to be a little bit chilly, but hopefully he can get something there. There's 21 mile per hour winds as well. Jesus, it's going to be quite windy. He might be in some trouble. Maybe take a spread for Herbert, but I'm not touching the match. I'm not going to touch it. Let's move on. Next, we have Mensik going against Choinski. Jan Choinski. I will figure out his name by the next video, I promise you. This is going to be their first head-to-head. 9-year difference. This is a guy from UK who's ranked 125. Mensik's going to beat this guy in straight sets, most likely. Yeah. He went 0-4 in the hard court last season. He went 2-1 this season, beating who? Quentin Elise and James McCabe. It's not going to be enough to beat Mensik. Let's see what he's priced at. If he's priced at anything worth talking about. Come on, where's the Mensik? Where's the Mensik? Minus 880. All right, next. All right, this is going to be a good one. We got our boy, Arthur Fils, going against Kamil Majchzrak. This is going to be a doozy, though, friends. I do worry about this matchup a bit. Just a bit. Now, this is going to be their first head-to-head. Look, Arthur was looking good up until he had to go against Felix last week, right? And that was his quarterfinal loss in Montpellier. Then he lost to Alex in Demonar in Rotterdam, who ended up winning today. So you lost to the guy that won the entire thing. That's totally all right, bro. That's totally all right. Everybody lost to him. So then we have Majchzrak, who we haven't seen on a hard court since the Australian Open. So now, we've seen Arthur Fils play, but we haven't seen him play outside yet. I would really like to think that because of the grindy way that they play, and Majchzrak is someone who can kind of sneak a win on somebody crazy. And Arthur Fils wouldn't be that crazy of a person to sneak a win on at this point in time. Arthur hasn't really proven himself back into the flow of things just yet, but we do know he is a bit proven. And what is he seeded at here for this tournament? He's not even seeded. It's crazy. He's got a 60% win rate. Majchzrak has a 66% win rate. So this is going to be a good one. I would really like to root for Arthur here, but I can't. He's minus 215. Take the Kamil Majchzrak spread because he is not going to lose easily. That much I would really, really feel confident on in the first round. Let me see what the... Ooh. A shame on you bet would be taking Majchzrak at plus 4.5 on the game spread. It's minus 270. It's a parlay piece if I've ever heard of one. If you want to go even better, you can get him plus 3.5 at minus 160. Yeah, I just think that if he does lose, he doesn't lose by a lot, usually. Like, look, against Fabian Marjan, it was 3-6, 4-6, 6-7. That's 3 games, 2 games, and then 1. And a Grand Slam, right? And then in Brisbane, won the first set. Oh no, yeah. The 4.5 might be good, but the 3.5 maybe not. Maybe not. I would rather go for Arthur Fils over 12.5 games. It's minus 130. That's just me. But yeah. We can move on. Our next match is going to be Jannik Sinner. No, I'm sorry. It's going to be Thomas Machac going against Jannik Sinner. And Thomas Machac has been looking pretty good out here, but he's never been able to beat Jannik. He played him twice in 2024. 6-4, 7-5 in Shanghai. 6-4, 6-2 in Miami. Jannik made it all the way to the semifinals, where he lost to Novak Djokovic in a 5-setter. Remember that? And Machac retired, losing to Arthur Gia in Montpellier after losing in the third round to Lorenzo Musetti. Jannik is priced at minus 2,300. The total games is... Excuse me. The total games is at 20.5 alted. Being as though Jannik lost in the Australian Open before even getting to Carlos, I think he's going to be in like super killer mode. I would think this match goes under 21 games. I'd be very surprised if he comes into this like looking any type of out of shape for this. So that's what I would go for, honestly. Even though there's not much value in anywhere else in this match, I think that's probably the best place. I wouldn't take the over total games for Jannik here because I don't know. And the spread, who knows how much he beats him by or doesn't beat him by. So, we don't really got to dwell too deep on that. We know who Jannik Sinner is. We know Thomas Machac has a decent hardcourt record. If you don't, he has a decent hardcourt record. And 67% win rate. So, he did win Adelaide. He won a title in the hardcourt coming into the Australian Open before losing in the third round. So, definitely in form again. But him retiring against Arthur Gia definitely makes us like, what is this guy's deal? Like, he retires like every 2 months. So, I don't know what the issue is. Don't really want to touch him. Rather just take the under total games with the center. Okay? Let's move on to our last final match that we're touching on in Doha for today. It is going to be Daniil Medvedev going against Jerry Shang. Now, what is this about? Medvedev has been matched with lefties back to back to back now. This will be his third consecutive meeting with a left-handed person. I don't think it's worth touching because he's lost every time. It doesn't even matter how he is against them. He's never played Jerry Shang. Remember the first time he played Lerner Tien? He beat him. Tien beat Medvedev the first time he played him. These Asian lefties be messing him up, bro. That's one thing we can count on. I mean, Tien's American, but he's... culturally, I think he's Asian. Anyway, Jerry Shang, we haven't seen him since the Australian Open. He went to a tie break with Botic, but then ended up getting beaten in straights, which is like, all right, if you can't get through Botic, who ended up getting to a tie break with Novak Djokovic, which I still think is hella impressive for who he is. Medvedev, like I said, he's been going through it with the lefties. Now, his last success against a lefty was on the indoor courts back in October in Almaty when he won the title there against Mutet. And then lost to him like the next week. So Mutet beating him in Vienna after the Almaty thing started him losing to like lefties for the next 4 or 5 matches now. So I don't know what's going on with him and the lefties. Maybe he's trying some new stuff and it's not working. I don't know. But I would just stay away from this match and not touch it. Okay? Medvedev is priced at minus 400. He could like truly destroy Buddy, but like to be honest with you, when he beat Mutet, it wasn't like he really beat him like that. The spread was plus 3.5. He covered like Mutet covered a plus 3.5. So if that's the case, I think Shang can cover a plus 5.5. I don't think you should touch it though. I'm just saying, if you felt like you needed to, that's the one thing I feel like is kind of safe. Let's move on though. You feel me? That was a decent size portion of what to talk about, but now we have to go into Rio de Janeiro. Oh my god! And we have so many familiar faces. Like, what gives? Just saw these guys literally 2 days ago. Half of these cats 2 days ago. Maximum. One of these guys we seen about a week ago. Anyway, our first match we're going to be touching on is going to be Juan Manuel Cerundolo going against Luciano Darderi. And what a great place to have Darderi in right now, because boy oh boy, did Juan Manuel have us so fooled that he was in some type of form. Now it is 3-2 Darderi in their head-to-head history. When they did play in qualies last 2 years ago in Rio de Janeiro, he lost in straights. Now, when he played him in his home country, everybody beats this guy at home. This is what I'm noticing about him. Everybody can beat this guy when he's in Buenos Aires. Bet against Juan Manuel when he's at home. That's crazy work. Crazy work. Anyway, 3-2. The most recent time they played was 2 years ago. And it was the second round in Santiago on the clay. Darderi won. He just lost in the final, right? We just saw that. I thought he was going to do something. Nothing. Good for Cerundolo, though. Doing one thing his brother couldn't do this week is win in his home country. So, good on you. Good on you for sure. Darderi is definitely going to probably get this win, though. He's got a pretty good relationship with lefties. I just don't really feel comfortable betting on him after he's come off of playing some pretty hard tennis. But unlike Felix, we do know, because we've seen it before, that this guy has a stamina tank that can last a little bit longer than just one tournament. He was able to win back-to-back tournaments on the clay. So, he may be good to go, honestly. For the price that he's at, Buddy is at minus 200 something. Come on now. What is he at? Minus 310. Okay. It's too heavy of a favorite, if you ask me. But it is what it is. Okay. What's today? All right. Let me check something real quick. I just want to make sure that, because everything's updating now, so I don't want to give you guys any wrong information. Just have to just look at me verify real quick. Sorry. All right. Cool. So it looks like we do have less stuff to talk about today. Okay. Well, that kind of throws a monkey wrench in what we had going on. Well, Darderi's not even playing tomorrow, so we'll let that just... Give me a second to work this out. Okay, so Cool. Put in the comments who you guys have for your futures while I do this, because I'm not about to edit this shit out. Sorry. Cool. So that leaves 2, 4, 6. Cool. Glad we can tidy that up. Sorry for that slight delay. Next match we have is going to be Yannick Hanfmann going against João Lucas Reis da Silva. They actually played each other before in Rio de Janeiro about 4 years ago, back when it was based in October. And it was 6-1, 6-1 Hanfmann. Now, we have not seen this brother on a clay court since the summertime. So, we've seen De Silva on a clay court about 2 weeks ago, and a challenger losing in the quarterfinals. Wouldn't touch this match. On paper, yeah, Hanfmann's supposed to be winning, but you really don't know what's going to happen here. Honestly, Hanfmann is still pretty good on form. On paper, this is his best surface, so he really should win. De Silva's ranked 207, but it is in Brazil, and things get hectic over there. He's from there, so I just don't have any desire to touch this match. And we can move on to the next one, which is going to be Christian Garin going against Thiago Agustin Tirante. And Mr. Garin is someone who has won the title here before. Like I mentioned in my last video, he did get the title back in 2021, if I'm not mistaken. So this is going to be their first head-to-head, going against Tirante, who is Argentinian, and Garin is Chilean. But they're only 3 ranks apart, 89 and 92. Both are coming off losses. Garin's coming off multiple since before the U.S. Open. Before the Australian Open. Losing in Auckland and Hong Kong. But Tirante was playing in the Davis Cup on the indoor hard courts and did decently, I guess. But playing on the clay is a whole different beast. So let's see how they've been doing on that surface as of last season. Definitely more on Garin. He's 64% with his win rate, went 39 and 13 last season. That's a 66% win rate for those who are bad at math. And Tirante had 35 and 22 with a 56% win rate. So Garin should be getting it done. He is a returning champion, so without a doubt, take this guy, right? He should be going a decent distance, and he's a underdog here. Wow. They must have forgot who this brother was. That might be a little sneaky one for you guys. Don't forget to play light. But yeah, I like Garin getting the money line. If not, take him for a set. Matter of fact, just take him for a set. See what that's priced at. Even money. Not bad. Oh, that's for him to win the first set. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Forgive me. So it's funny. He's actually minus 103 on. You might as well take him to win then. Yeah, take him to win on FanDuel because he's plus one. He's plus money there, and he's not on DraftKings. So somewhere has him as an underdog, and I think it's worth taking him as an underdog versus just taking him for a set in the first round. The guy won the title here 6 years ago. I'm sure he's got some chops still, but I don't know, right? We just don't know. He's not old. He's 29, so he's still got chops. He's playing against someone who's 24. So A lot of the matches that the guy he's playing against, is just play a lot of challengers. Same with Garin though. He's been in a lot of challengers, but he's been winning challengers on clay. He's won at least 2 over the past few months, so definitely take him as the underdog. If anything, I like him winning. All right. Who we got next? Who do we have next? Looks like we have... Jesus. These poor books are not updating in time. I know the matches, but the books don't have them. This is quite annoying. Okay, well, I can tell you guys a bit about this match. If it is set in motion to happen. It looks like we're supposed to be getting Dusan Lajovic and Daniel Altmaeir tomorrow. So, Altmaeir is beating him 3 times in a row. They went to a 3-setter back in March at a challenger in Cap Cana. But as far as playing on the clay, let's see. Altmaeir is 0-1, but Lajovic is 2-2. 6-4 over the past 2 months on the clay, or just in general. So definitely in a bit more form, but not so much where you can count Altmaeir out. That one-handed backhand is a little bit crazy on the clay, and he's always beating this guy. So on what looks like 3 different surfaces, he beat him on the clay back in 2021, but that was too long ago to really say if he can do it again. I would just stay away from the match, honestly. I don't really fancy either one of them doing anything. Yeah. Okay. All right, next we have Alejandro Tabilo going against Emilio Nava. And what? This is a tough one too, because I know Emilio Nava can do some great work on the clay, and I know that Tabilo can do some great work on the clay, and now the hard. But his loss to Echeverry was fair. He lost to a countryman in his own country, so very fair. Emilio Nava losing to the same type of countryman, Navone, but losing like that was like, bro, you're not in form on this surface. You are not in form on this surface whatsoever. 6'2", 6'1", no, bro. Go sit down somewhere, please. So, one thing that I do like about the match that they have is maybe Nava going under. Even if he is in decent form and loses, but if he isn't, he shouldn't go over 13 or over 12 games. So I think win or lose, I think he'll probably lose, and him losing, he won't go over 12.5. If he happens to just be in smoking hot form, he might just win in under 12.5 as well. So anyway, let's move on. This is quite annoying because the matches that are coming up from one source is telling me what the schedule is. This looks like what the schedule really is. It looks like tomorrow we're having Christian Garin, Tirante, Tabilo, Nava, Lajovic, Altmaeir, Buse, and Marcondes and Heide and Kopriva, Hanfmann and Reis de Silva. So I don't have any information on Ignacio Buse going against this Marcondes guy. Not as of yet. This is going to be their first meeting. The only thing I do know is that Igor Marcondes is Brazilian and he is left-handed. So let's look and see how Ignacio does against lefties. And mind you, he's playing a Brazilian too, so man, he's 4-3 against him. He's kind of like if up in the air with them. 15-10, so definitely a little bit up in the air with them. His past 2 matches against him, he's won. What's this guy's rank again? Well, he did lose in the second round, so just remember that much. Ignacio lost in the second round to Sebastian Baez. Thought it would be a bit of a situation, but I told you that Baez was going to win, and that's exactly what happened. Let's see what this Mercado dude is. He's ranked 350. But he ended the season last season 55 and 15. Still ranked 350 in the world. Went 19-8 on the clay with a 62% win rate. He qualified beating Jaime Fadia and Junhin Singh. He made it to the first round in the Rosario Challenger, losing and getting bageled by Diaz Acosta. So I don't know. It's been a minute since Buse's played against the lefty, so I would kind of leave this match alone just because I don't. He should win, but it's the first round, so you just really can't call it with this. You don't know what people's motivations are coming to a whole new tournament. They might just be here and be like, you know what, I lost last week. Fuck it, I'm gonna lose this week too. You don't know. Sometimes you just see that and you're like, oh, this guy's rigging the match. No, sometimes they just don't care. They travel around the world playing tennis. Their bodies be hurting. They don't be feeling like playing tennis all the time. Just remember that. These are like people. So when you're betting on them, don't be like, oh, he didn't do this. It's like, this is a person still who like maybe didn't care to like just do what you bet on today because he just didn't care about tennis at all today. Like it's possible. So just remember that as well. It's just a slight little tangent. Looks like they don't have the last information I need as well for this other match, which is going to be, let me see, what is it here? First off, Altmaeir and Lajovic just popped up on my books, and so did Buse. Buse is a favorite at minus 277. I would take him. And then we have, it's our last match. Gustavo Heide going against Kopriva. And looking forward to my boy Vít going against the Brazilian wild card. He was looking pretty good until he ran into Cerundolo, who won the whole tournament. So, boom. Beat Berrettini, though, in straight sets. That was quite convincing. And haven't seen Heide yet on the clay since before Thanksgiving, so before December. He won a clay challenger. You're going to need a lot more than that to be able to beat Vít Kopriva. So let's see what his money's at. Minus 120. I like that price. Now, like I said, they played before, and Kopriva won in a 3-setter. And Kitzbühel in qualies like 2 years ago in 2024. Now, something you need to know is that Heide is playing at home, and he's got a 65% win rate on the clay. Now, a lot of these wins have come from M25s, challengers, things of that nature. Kopriva has a 61% win rate, and he has... Oh, okay. Whoa. He participates in challengers as well, but he also made it to the third round in, what was that, Rome on the clay? Did really well there. I lost to Jack Draper in straights, but was able to get through Sebastian Baez and Canton Alice, Masloretti and Sorchina. Let's see, was that Lima? That's also a challenger. So, honestly, challenger level, but is a little bit more elite if you ask me. So, that's who I'd go with out of the two. I know that you're like, why wouldn't you bet on the guy that's from Brazil? I just don't think he'll win. That's why. But he's ranked 257, and 257s in Brazil be playing like they're ranked 98. So I could be wrong. I have been wrong before, and I will be wrong again. But I do be right, though, too. So don't forget that as well. Let's move on to the last and final cluster bunk of tennis that we have, which is going to be in the beautiful Del Rey Beach. And we'll be starting things off in Del Rey Beach with none other than Nuno Borges. What? I guess not. What is going on here? Everything's updating. No, he's supposed to be playing. What is this? This is malarkey. Nuno Borges is going against Coleman Wong. Haven't seen either of them play in a minute. So, why they're not trying to show me this either? Did Nuno qualify in this? Or he's just like seated. He's seated. Yeah, these matches are like way tomorrow, like later tomorrow in the afternoon. So a lot of this stuff is not updated yet. I'm kind of scrambling around because some of the people that played last week are in these tournaments for this one. Like Taylor Fritz, for example. They're trying to get a schedule around Taylor Fritz now because he just had to leave from Dallas. Now he has to go to California. And that's a big travel, but, you know. This is just such a headache right now. I apologize for the non-cohesion of this video. The lack of cohesion. It's just because they don't want me to win, though. They do not want me to get you this information. They're trying to limit how fast I can get it to you because lines are changing too. But okay, so we'll just have to say forget that for now. Now, Coleman Wong is going against Nuno Borges. And like I said, we haven't seen either of these guys play in quite some time. So I really don't even feel comfortable betting on either one. Like, straight up, I don't feel comfortable betting on either one. Nuno has a pretty good win rate on the hard courts. He's beaten some impressive people at times. But he lost to Rublev, Lerner Tien, and Elliot Spazzuri most recently. So then we have Coleman Wong, who's lost to Musetti, Elias Emer, and Stefano Travaglia, and Otto Verdinen. So yeah, definitely would take Nuno here, just because of who he's beaten recently. But it's been some time since either of them have been on this court. I wouldn't touch the match. Just being honest with you, wouldn't touch this match. All right, enough of that malarkey. Next match we have is Patrick Kypson going against Terrence Atmane. And they played each other once before, 3 years ago on the clay. Ain't that bad up? It went 6-2, 6-7, 6-2. Patrick Kypson. Now this is not going to be on the clay. This is actually going to be on a windy, Del Rey Beach. The weather is... ...13 miles per hour winds. That's the high. So, 73 degrees as well. Scary Terry. Don't know if he'll be able to do much. He took a set off Tiafo. But after that, it was pretty much done and dusted, right? We had Patrick Kypson in Dallas. He lost to Lajovic. Also Jack Jones. I would think Terrence Atmane can get a set here. He's done it before. He's playing a bit better. Just a bit better. Kypson does also struggle against lefties, so I wouldn't take Atmane to outright win, but I would like him for a set. He is priced at plus 105 to win as an underdog. And him to get a set is minus 275. Not too bad. So, with that, we can move on to a nice match I'll be looking forward to. We have another former Californian. We got Alex Michelson, Vacherot. Valentin Vacherot going against Alex Michelson. Yes, indeed. Now, both of these guys have some pretty big serves. Now, I don't know if we've ever seen Vacherot here in this part of America. Has he played in... Yes. Lost in qualies to Gabriel Diallo back in 2024. So it's been 2 years since he's been here. He had 7 double faults. I think the wind was probably getting to him. I would assume he would have improved upon that, knowing how to deal with it this time around. Michelson is someone who has always played, I think, in this area. So, being as though he's from California. So he should be quite used to those conditions outside. Let me just give a good look. See how he did in Del Rey last season. Made it to the second round. Then he had to run into Tommy Paul, where he took a set off of him before losing. So, yeah, a bit more. And he beat Kokonakis in straights. 6-1, 6-2. Yeah, this might be a conditional thing. Like, if you don't know the conditions out there, you might be playing yourself. So, it might be a little bit windy on low key, and people might not be ready for that. So, I don't know. I don't do a lot of serving in windy conditions, so I don't know how much 11 miles per hour really can affect me, but I would assume a lot. It's not like it's 2 to 3. It's 11. Double digits in wind has got to be affecting the ball. I would think Michelson is definitely going to snag a set if he doesn't take the whole match. Probably 2-1, one of these guys. Probably going to 3 sets. Just because Vacherot, we know he can really conjure up some special shots, some quite remarkable tennis playing. So it's plus 105 for it to go to 3 sets. I don't hate that. That's some certified smoke for you. All right. And as far as the win rates on the surfaces. Vacherot's got a 71 win percentage. Also winning a Masters out of nowhere. Still stuck on that. Yes, I am. Mickelson's got a 63% win rate. He went 14-13 last season, 4-3 so far this season. Vacherot went 18-9, 4-3 this season as well. Boom. I think Vacherot wins, but hey, I'll be playing him on DraftKings more than likely just to try my odds there. I have a signed tennis ball by Alex Mickelson. Maybe I should put him on a slip too, but can't be too biased out here, right? Anyway, let's move on. Got 2 more to go through. All right. Next we have Sho Shimabukuro going against Marcus Giron. And Marcus Giron is also a Californian playing at home. So I'll be damned if he loses this match. You better not lose this match, bro. Like, I'm not even about to get into no stats. Like, you better not lose this match. You've played here so many times. So many times. It should be not a problem beating a ranked 144 player who's qualifying. You just better not lose. You better not lose to a ranked 133 qualifier, bro. Not on no home soil. 58% win rate going against a 63% win rate. But challenger level. So you're elite, Marcus Giron. You've shown us that you can do some quite elite things at times. Please be elite here. That's all I ask. The last 2 losses he had were to Californians. Taylor Fritz and Leonard Tien, who are both in this tournament. You better get to one of them and settle your grievances with them. Don't start one with this guy. That's all I'm going to say on that. And the last and final match that we have to deal with, according to my sources, it's Francis Tiafoe and Rinki Hijikata. And let me see. I believe they played each other a few times. So they played twice before. Last year or 2 years ago. What the fuck was this? I guess they had like a weird tiebreak situation. Anyway, they played in the U.S. Open back in 2023. Tiafoe beat him in straight sets. And then they played in London, where it went to a tiebreak, and Rinki won the tiebreak, the third set tiebreak. But it was like, I guess, a 10-point tiebreak. I don't know what that's about. But, yes. This will be the get back for Tiafoe. He definitely has the skills to beat Rinki. These conditions, he's played here before, if I'm not mistaken, quite a few times. He is American. And this is a part of the American circuit. And ATP is to go through Del Rey Beach, Miami, all that. So... first round loss last season to Buse Chankete from Rinki Hijikata. He got bageled at 6-2. Jesus. And then last season we had Tiafoe here. Wait. Tiafoe hasn't been here since 2021, where he went to the quarterfinals and lost against Cam Norrie.
He bageled Cam Norrie in the first set and then lost the second set and then lost again. Wait, he hasn't really been back since then? I wonder why. No, he was back in 2024. Went to the semifinals. Lost to Tommy Paul 6-2, 6-2, but beat Kaboli and Radu Albert. Rinky is looking like a Radu Albert right now. So, if you want to take Tiafoe in straight sets, might be able to do so. But I'm leaving him alone, man. I'm leaving him the hell alone. That wraps up everything for me. Appreciate you guys watching. Sorry for the humbug going throughout the video. But hopefully you got some informative stuff from me. As far as futures are going, now, I'm not going to do what I did last week. Even though it worked out halfway, I'm not going to do it again. Something I like to do, though, is the bottom half, top half shit hit, so we're going to do that again. That was fun. I think I'm going to take, let's see. I'll put it in the pinned comment, but I'm digging the top half for Fudge Nuggets. What is it? Top half for Del Rey, because Laurentien is in that part of the draw. And bottom half for Doha, because Sinner is in that draw with a bunch of other bangers. I think the only person in the top of the draw is Alcaraz. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. Anything else? Let me see. I guess I can give you another little quick rundown, even though I said I wasn't going to do it. Last year in Del Rey, last 5 years, I'll just go in order from 2025 down. Kecmanovic beat Fokina in 3. Fritz beat Paul in 2. Fritz beat Kecmanovic in 3. That was in 2023. And then Cam Norrie beat Opelka in 2. Hurkacz beat Korda in 2. That was 2021. And then Rublev won 2025 in Doha. Khachanov in 2024 over Mensik and Rublev to Draper. Medvedev over Murray. Bautista Agut over Basilashvili. Basilashvili over Bautista Agut. And then Sebastian Baez past 2 years over Muller and Navone. Cam Norrie. Yada, yada, yada. Okay? You guys get it. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.